You should definitely do all of these things in your 20s. I was getting paid to learn. Don't wait until it hurts. I'm talking like $20,000 in credit card debt. What's up everyone? My name is Jessica Johnson and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I'm a wife, I'm a dog mom, and I have a lot of hobbies. And this is a very special video because most likely if you're watching this, I have turned 29. It is my 29th birthday, which is so weird. You just really realize how fast time really goes by. It's also very strange because when I was like 22, I dated this guy who was 29 and I thought of him as like so much older than me, and then now I'm 29 and I'm like, still young, dude, still young. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, to be honest, I feel like I utilize my 20s pretty darn well, but there are some things I also regret not doing. Not to mention, I lead a small group of women. They are about ages 20 to 25. And one thing I hear a lot from them, especially the ones that are like about to graduate college, is I'm so afraid to become an adult. So without further ado, here are 10 things that you should do in your 20s. Number 1, by all means, please say yes to opportunities, even if they're not like 100% in line with what you want to do. First of all, when I was like 20 or 21, I had no idea really what I wanted to do. All I knew is that I really loved media. I naturally had a draw to that since I was young, but you know what? I was still like pursuing like dentistry or something. But honestly, so many skills are translatable. I mean, I was a full-time nanny for a couple of years and all of those skills still translated really well onto a resume for when I applied to be an intern at a radio station. But if you do have an idea for what you want to do, or at least for what you like, try to take jobs or internships or volunteer opportunities that are like within that field, but don't feel the pressure to feel like you have to like pick a career. I interned at a news station. I interned at a radio station. I worked at a radio station. I was a morning show host for a little bit. I took a job as a producer at a television network. But guess what I didn't know? I did not know exactly what I wanted to do. But the cool part was I was getting paid to learn. And if you're like, I have no idea what I even want to do with my life, my biggest advice when it comes to that is pay attention to the little things that you're naturally drawn to. When I was younger, I was naturally drawn to photography and being on a camera. I just thought it was fun. It took a long time for me to really realize this is what I'm good at. So again, say yes to the opportunities and don't get freaked out when it's not exactly in line with what you want to do, because that's gonna shift constantly throughout your 20s. Number 2, get a roommate. There are so many reasons I could go into why you should have a roommate. Not only can it be tons of fun, but it's really good for you. My husband has always put it this way: you don't want to practice how you're not gonna play. Basically, what I'm trying to say is if you have any desire to get married, having a roommate is one of the best things that you can do. Having a roommate really teaches you to consider another person other than yourself. Maybe you're coming home late and they're sleeping in the other room. It really teaches you to be considerate of what's going on over there. Most likely a roommate is gonna load the dishwasher differently from you. They're gonna do their laundry differently from you. All, again, translatable things, but in this case, translatable for a marriage. Number 3, pay off your debt or stay away from debt if you can. This is advice from somebody who was not wise with her credit cards in the first few years of her 20s. On top of that, I still had school debt. So did I pay it off? Yes, but I did go through Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University to do that. And I was talking to Jack already. We were trying to plan for our marriage. And so that was a part of the plan. We're like, okay, we're gonna pay off this debt. We're gonna put the pedal to the metal. And we did, and we paid it all off. But it took time and it took discipline. And though I am so glad that we paid it off, I do wish I never spent that amount of money in credit cards. I mean, I'm talking like $20,000 in credit card debt. Yeah, don't do that. Number 4, this one's a little more philosophical, I guess. Become the man or the woman that you want to marry. Contrary to what society says and what social media says and the popular belief, marriage is not about what they can do for you. After being married for a few years now, I really have learned it's about serving each other and what you can do for them and the person that you can be for them. It's truly about serving one another. You might be thinking, well, how do I even do that? I don't even have a boyfriend. I don't even have a girlfriend or whatever. Again, get a roommate, go out of your way to serve other people. Learn how to be a less selfish friend. It's just true. Number 5, leave the country. Go on a mission trip. Do something that it's going to change your worldview a little bit. When I was 24 or 25, one of those, I went on a mission trip to a country in Asia. And let me tell you, it was completely life-changing, opened my eyes to a lot. It's one thing to see stuff on TV and another thing to really experience it in person. It did a ton for my walk with God, and it also really made you realize how absolutely blessed we are to live in the United States of America. It's a really good time right now while you're not really pigeonholed yet, you know? Especially if you don't have roots anywhere either. It's a really, really good time to go. Number 6, take care of your body. You might not feel this now because you're a young spring chicken frolicking in the sun. But when I hit like 26, I really started to feel like the aches in my bones. Now, I will say, I was an athlete my entire life. I played soccer, I played volleyball, I did all the things. I have zero regrets, but in my 20s, I still went really, really hard in the gym, which again, I do not regret, but what I do regret is not really taking care of myself after my workouts. Stretching, working on mobility, icing, all that stuff is really gonna start to matter. I also have friends who actually gained a lot of weight in their 20s, and on top of that, they didn't really take care of themselves either, like their ankles, stuff like that. So now they're literally having to go to the doctor and figure that stuff out, because some people literally have like fractures in their bones. There's just stuff that I think probably could have been prevented. I'm even starting to feel those things. Don't wait until it hurts to do something about it. Number 7, get involved in a church or a small group, something. By the way, these are really in no particular order of importance. A walk with God is how I get through absolutely everything in life. I often don't know how people do life without faith. It blows my mind. I really don't know how people do life without people in their corner that care about them and that take care of them when crap hits the fan. When I first started going back to church and following God, one of the first things I did was join a small group. Those are the people who got me through literally everything. Moves from house to house, if my car broke down, relationship trouble. These people were my ride or die, my true accountability. And for me, this was an incredible thing because all of my family was living in a different state. So my small group was my family. And now my husband and I lead a small group for a bunch of people in our house who were in like the exact same life situation. Funny how things come full circle. Number 8, try new hobbies. I'm not necessarily saying you have to take up underwater basket weaving, but one of my favorite things I did in my early 20s is I took improv classes. I had the time of my life. I met people I would have never met before. We came from all different walks of life, and at the end of like your classes, you had a show. And so I had people from like my work, all these people that I knew in my life, all come watch the show, and it was amazing. And it actually pushed me to try other things. So since then, I've been on a water ski show team. I play pickleball and I'm in pickleball tournaments. I even tried to play Call of Duty for a season when my husband was deployed. Pretty cool, you know? And obviously this isn't something you have to just only do in your 20s, but it really sets a good stage for how you want the rest of your life to look. Number 9, invest in your family. I know family is complicated. Nobody has a perfect family. Some people have, gosh, they would probably consider themselves to be without a family. But I remember on my wedding day looking around at everybody in the room and thinking to myself, I highly doubt I'll ever have all of these people in the same room again at the same time. Life is really short and it goes by fast. And now that I'm already at the end of my 20s, that's really been proven to me. At the end of the day, as a believer, I believe that the only thing that you can take to heaven with you is other people. Everything else in this life, whether it's my couch, that picture on the wall, none of that ultimately matters. And finally, number 10. Ta-da! Please, by all stinking means, don't put yourself on a timeline. They're not real. They don't exist.
Whatever. Those rules aren't real.
It's funny because I say that to you and I still struggle with that idea just like a little bit, but it is true. Don't let social media or Pinterest or whatever the heck you're looking at trick you into thinking that you have to be at a certain point right now. I got married at 25, but we still don't have kids. I also have friends who aren't married yet and they're in their 30s. You don't have to get married by a certain time. You don't have to buy a house at a certain time. You don't have to be done with school at a certain time. You don't even have to figure out exactly what you want to do by a certain time. I have been all over the map in terms of life and career throughout my 20s. Take one step at a time and let God be your guide. The timeline is a lie, so don't buy into it. Okay, so yeah, those are the 10 things I would say that you should do in your 20s. So if you're in your early 20s or about to enter your 20s, don't be terrified. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. Just be wise, because I'd be lying if I said that I made all great decisions. Maybe that could be another video. If you guys have anything you want to hear me dive further into or anything that you want to say, go ahead, leave it in the comments and I will make sure to respond. Love you guys. 29. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.